All right, good morning. Oh, good afternoon, everybody. What we are looking at today is 7G from the textbook. Last class, you guys used your CAS calculators to take a series of data and create an equation, also known as a line of best fit or least squares regression line. What we are going to do today is use that line to make predictions. When we are working inside our set of data, that is called an interpolation. They can generally be trusted. What happens though is when you go outside your range of data, that becomes an extrapolation. That is where things can get inaccurate. So for example, if I had a set of data that measured the number of hours a student studied with their score on the test, I could use the data, create a line of best fit, and use it to make predictions. And most of those predictions would fit pretty close to the line. However, it says, if I created an equation and it said that if I studied for 80 hours, I should get 160% on a test, that's generally where you know that there's limitations to what you can do with your extrapolated data, with your lines of best fit. All right? They stop making sense once you move outside the range of data that you have. So for example, if we look here, I've got questions here behind me. And if we look at question 3 here, for shoe sizes between 6 and 12, an equation relating a person's weight in kilos to shoe size is the following there. 4.81 times 2.2 times their shoe size. Using this equation to predict the weight of the nearest person are the following interpolation or extrapolation. What you need to realize is that if our data on one axis, as in our explanatory variable, if our EV is a range between 6 and 12, anything between 6 and 12 is something that we can trust within reason. If it's outside 6 and 12, I am extrapolating it. The data can't necessarily be trusted. All right, so in this case here, because I start with shoe sizes 6 to 12, question 3A says 5. Is 5 interpolating or extrapolating? All right, because 5 is less than 6, it is therefore an extrapolation. I cannot trust the data to give me accurate information. 8 and 11, however, are both inside 6 to 12. All right, as long as I am inside the range of my source data, I'm good, I'm fine. It's interpolation, it can be trusted. When I go outside of that, it starts to get a little murky. So for example, if you were to put shoe size 15 in there, that would be an extrapolation. Your equation may not necessarily work, especially if you're relying on a linear model. So if we are looking at some of these other questions here, so for example, question 4, the cost to produce no meals. Well, 0 is less than 25, so therefore it would be an extrapolation. Extrapolation, extra simply means outside. Interpolation, inside. All right? Hopefully that little distinction helps it make sense for you. All right? So, 7G, all questions as normal.